All right, greetings. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. We're live on Callin, Rockfin, and on YouTube. How you doing? The intro music is actually something from a new project I'm working on. And I guess I will play that music as an intro until I decide to change it, or until it actually gets released. So my problem with playing my music or anybody else's music, especially because I'm on YouTube, is that they do the copyright. They hit you with copyright. I get hit with copyrights even on my own music, so it's kind of ridiculous. Is there static? Okay. I don't know. Do I have sound now? Check. Check. Ha. Okay. Static on. Thanks for letting me know. It's quite annoying. Static. Anyways, I end up releasing this music that includes the intro song. I probably won't be able to play it anymore because I will get hit with copyright strikes on my own music. So figure that one out. We'll move on to something else. We'll move on to something that is in the lab, if you will. Anyways, good to see y'all. What are we talking about today? Obsolete optic. Oh, first of all, let me thank Steph C. Hit me with an after hours tip. I don't even think it was yesterday. I think it was the day before. I don't know if I remember to mention this. She tipped me on Rockfin, said thanks, Kevin. Enjoy the rest of the holidays. As we head into a new year, that's sure to be an adventure. More static again? Jesus. Oh, it sucks. Is it really bad? I don't know. Sometimes it makes me feel like this is not even... Okay, hold on. Check. All right. Should be there. Wow. I don't know. But thanks for letting me know. Static gone. Static back. Hopefully it's back. Or back to being gone. I don't know. Help. All right, well, let's keep going. Obsolete Optics sent me this. Oh, I was just going to say, yeah, this year shaping up to be another interesting year, as the last 2 or 3 years have been extremely interesting to people, right? Interesting as in, what's going on? All right, we got some people on Rockfin hanging out with us. Real or fake, like Randall Carlson? Yeah, I've got the ground loop buzz going. It's actually better than it was. So it's actually better than it was because I rearranged my studio a little bit yesterday, and it was really bad for a couple of days, and now it's kind of abated a little bit. Anyways, Obsolete Optics sent me this. On marine cloud brightening, we were talking about future geoengineering, admitted geoengineering, right? There's a company in Mexico that is saying, like, we are actually selling carbon credits because we are going to go ahead and start geoengineering the joint. Right? We're going to just do it. We're going to jump out and do it because that's capitalism, right? That's how technology gets brought to the world, right? We're just going to do it, and hopefully nobody will raise too many objections, and they usually don't. And then people go, "Oh, it's really cool that you're doing this thing," and they're like, "Well, we're already making some money. Try and stop us." Right? And then it takes, possibly years or decades from Congress or some committee to go, we got to study this, and we should really look into this, and maybe we should have some rules around this, and maybe we should, blah blah blah. Right? Like 5G was rolled out with not a lot of study about the health impacts, right? They'll tell you, "Oh yeah, we totally did," but actually very little. Same with the fake meat blood. I forget the name of it. Right? You know that Beyond Meat and Impossible Meat are the reason why it's so, meat-like is because of this fake synthetic blood that is included in the meat, and it is very poorly tested. It is not tested very well, and that's why a lot of people are staying away from it, as they actually should if they're thinking human beings. But you have this fake meat with this fake blood, and you put it out there, and people are like, this is delicious. I love it. And then they're making money, and everybody's like, I don't know. Should we test the fake blood? You think now is a good time, now that everybody's been eating it? That's just how it goes. So they're already doing it. They're already doing it. But I actually think that there's already a fair bit of geoengineering going on. There's quite a bit. I already think that it's already happening. That's just my opinion. My criteria for how much is going on could be nominal at best. I think it's called Make Sunsets, William Dillon. The company is called Make Sunsets. But my observations of, what I think is going on with the geoengineering thing is that fake clouds in the sky when it's in Los Angeles, it's very easy to see, right? It's going to be a hot day. It's going to be abnormally hot. All of a sudden you see bam, 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 all these clouds just, amazingly happen right in front of the sun. It's like, oh, I've had people, countless people try to explain to me, that's totally normal and natural. Okay. You can do all the convincing you want, to me, but it looks suspicious to me, and that's what I'm basing some of my beliefs on. It looks very suspicious and kind of, coincidental that it happens on particular days and in particular places. And I've told this story many times that for years there was just daily contrails in the sky. Daily contrails in the sky, and everybody noticed them. My friends would talk about them. My family would talk about them. People would go like, "Yeah, there's a lot going on up there today." Right? In LA, it was very bad. It was every single day, all the time. And I did notice when Trump was elected president, all of a sudden they just stopped for months, for a really long time, and to the point they were bad enough and daily enough, right? And everybody was talking about it, and everybody noticed it, and it was a topic of conversation amongst my friends. And Trump got elected, and all of a sudden these clouds just disappeared for months, and I was like, okay, that actually clinched it for me, because I was like, oh, if these are natural, and they're happening every day, where did they go, right? And then the weather no, the weather didn't change, the sun conditions didn't change, the air traffic didn't change, nothing changed, they just went away. Anyways, those are my observations. That's all. On top of the fact that they are actually admitting to geoengineering, they're actually admitting to tinkering with the weather. Saudi Arabia, Mexico, China, other places. There are some places that are admitting to doing something about trying to control the rain, control the hail, control the weather, control what's going on. Trump scared the clouds away? I don't know. I don't know what happened, but it was a definite demarcation point, and I had to go. Something is going on. Something weird is going on. I don't know anything more about it than that, right? Like, did they stop doing it because they thought Trump was going to look, to do something about it or expose it, or did they stop doing it because I don't know. I don't know what happened. All I know is that they stopped abruptly for a long time, and I was like, that's okay. So if these are normal and natural and they happen every single day under the LA skies, every single day, all the time, right? To the extent that people are constantly talking about it, like, what the hell is going on up there? What's happening? And then they stopped for a really long time. I was like, okay, these aren't natural. Geoengineering, geoengineer most of the Earth's surface may not be a great idea. So thanks, Obsolete Optics, for sending this to me. This is from December 19th, 2022. As climate change shifts from a far-off problem to imminent threat in public perception, governments and billionaire philanthropists scramble to mitigate the impacts of global warming. Well, here we go with the billionaire philanthropists. Geoengineering, the radical transformation of the environment and ecosystem, has been an object of considerable interest. There are two main approaches to man-made climate intervention. Aerosol geoengineering, the spraying of particles into the atmosphere to partially block the sun, has dominated discussions, while aquatic geoengineering remains comparatively unknown, even though somebody jumped out and did something about that already, right? Did a test. Several proposals involving the dangerous engineering of huge swaths of the ocean are receiving funding and not much scrutiny. Obscurity should not defend bad policy or junk science. The ocean is the world's largest carbon sink and public good, and re-engineering 2/3 of the planet's surface is not only dangerous and risky, but entirely unnecessary and counterproductive at this level of our knowledge or lack thereof. So what they're saying actually is pretty right on. You don't want to do it. This is a bad idea. This is a bad idea, and a lot of people know it. But that's why this company makes sunsets, and other people are going to do this. Other other entities are going to do this as well, trying to jump out ahead of, like, oh, we shouldn't do this. Don't do that. That's bad. Right, the government and articles and people and scientists are going, oh, don't do it. But you're going to have these capitalist enterprises or venture capital funded companies or billionaire philanthropist companies funded, whatever you want, just who knows where the money's coming from, but they're going to jump out and they're going to do it anyway. See, look, we're already doing it. It's working. Before, ahead of all the people going, I don't know. Should we do it? I don't know. Should we do it? I don't know. Oh, thank you. Tor Werner sent me a super chat. Thanks, man. Tor said, "Hi, Kevin. Thanks for a great show. Greetings from Sweden. I will support whenever I can." Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Anyways, in May 2020, an open air trial of marine cloud brightening. So they're doing it, right? So here we are. They're doing it in May 2020, when everybody was in the middle of a pandemic lockdown. May 2020. In May 2020, when everybody was in the middle of a pandemic lockdown, and nobody noted, everybody was busy being concerned about something else. They actually did a trial. They did a trial. Marine cloud brightening began in Australia, where nano-sized salt crystals are sprayed into the air through an experimental turbine to form large quantities of unusually small water droplets, which would brighten low-lying, above water clouds, thus reflecting sunlight back into space. Guess what? Okay, their results, they say, were inconclusive. It is my personal belief, and this is not based on, I'm not saying this is factual. This is my belief. My belief is that they know all about this. They already have done all the tests, and they're already doing it, and they've already implemented it, and they're already doing it, and they know all about it. That's my belief. And they're just trying to let you know. They're trying to inch it out there, like they're trying to let you know it's already going on. By the time your concern makes it to the right ears, by the time your concern makes it to Congress, or 5 years from now or 10 years from now, I'm really concerned about this geoengineering. We should not do this. They're going to be like, we've been doing it, bro. We've been doing it. Good luck to you, sir. Try and stop us. Anyways, listen who was involved in this. Stratospheric Controlled Perturbation Experiment, or SCOPE-X, funded by Microsoft's founder Bill Gates, expended great effort and resources towards solving humanity's environmental ills this way. SCOPE-X attempted to deploy or employ similar strategies in the Swedish Arctic. Ultimately, SCOPE-X was canceled by the Swedish Space Corporation due to objections from environmentalists and indigenous people living proximate to where the experiments were being conducted. Right, exactly. They were correct in saying, don't do this, please. Don't do this near us. Thanks so much. Who would have thought that plunging cities into darkness by dimming the sun would be unpopular? Aquatic geoengineering is not limited to MCB, but also includes water spray techniques such as those theorized under the UCLA strategy of carbon sequestration and storage. This process of single-step carbon sequestration and storage, or SCS2, involves cycling massive amounts of seawater out of the ocean, separating solid carbon dioxide from the water, which is redeposited into the ocean, and then returning the less carbon heavy water into the ocean. What? It sounds very energy intensive. Sounds like it might take a lot of carbon in order to sequester the carbon, right? Allowing it to subsequently absorb more carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. My gosh, that looks genius or insane. Anyways, another proposed use of aquatic geoengineering is to use unusually small water particles to eliminate air pollution by dispersing water into the atmosphere, trapping particles in water, which could then be filtered after precipitation and runoff. Proponents argue that water spraying aquatic geoengineering techniques could be a solution for managing the heavily polluted air of megacities. Wow. They contend that if water spraying systems are installed at the top of the buildings in the cities with water obtained from nearby sources, implementation costs could be low. Really? Extracting billions of metric tons of carbon dioxide from seawater containing nearly 150 times more carbon dioxide than air would be laudable. Nevertheless, there are many reasons to be skeptical of aquatic geoengineering. One of those reasons, I think, sounds like it's going to create a lot of carbon in trying to get rid of the carbon. There are many reasons to be skeptical of aquatic geoengineering. Securing a stable supply of water and repeatedly cleaning it, sometimes after it has rained, its possibly harmful particulates down, is easier said than done, while the process dangerously increases humidification of the lower atmosphere. This would also cost trillions of dollars to build the approximately 1,800 SCS2 plants to eliminate 10 billion metric tons of CO2 each year. Guys, do you guys see the issue here? Here we have come to the point in the article where you say, well, this don't make no sense. This makes absolutely zero sense, and you're going to have to build all those plants to decarbonize. How much carbon are you going to expel building the plants? Please let me know. Poppy Davis says, truth is, it's time for a Hail Mary. We're already screwed, so why not? Yeah, my thing is that I'm worried about the destruction, the amount of destruction we're going to encourage in order to stop the destruction. I think cooler heads hopefully will prevail. I don't know. I don't know about going headlong into building a bunch of carbon capture things, in order to stop the carbon, which is going to require a lot of carbon. I don't know. That's just me. I could be wrong. Anyways, this is a ridiculous plan. Let's take a break here. Oh, really? Ted Kaczynski died 2 days ago? I didn't know that. Wow. Hold on. Guess what? I'm going to take a call from Shardol. How's it going?
Hey Black, how you doing?
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
So for me, I don't like to mix real news and fake news, because I don't like when people mix like completely unrelated news with related news, because it just doesn't make any sense, and I don't know why people do it. Because you got to keep the real news separate and keep the fake news separate, and don't have them collide with each other.
Okay, I hear you.
Because I don't agree with that, right? Because if something's real, keep that separate, and if things are fake, keep that separate.
Yeah, well, it's kind of, the title was kind of an intentional title in order to describe things that people often think are fake but are actually real.
Like
Right,
what are
so
what do you categorize as real news, and what do you categorize as fake news?
well,
Completely like
I'm trying to draw attention to the idea of specifically right now geoengineering, which a lot of people think is fake. And it's to me it's a nuanced subject, right? So I don't think there's like everything is geoengineered. I don't think that all weather events are created and they're making everything happen on the planet. I think that climate change is actually a real thing and it's happening. But a lot of people will tell you that there is no geoengineering going on whatsoever, and that's absolutely not true. So what I'm trying to point out is that not only is there several countries have already admitted to doing geoengineering projects, and we now have an admission, that there's been several geoengineering tests, and there's a company out there doing testing geoengineering. They're already doing it, but saying that they don't want to do it. They're doing it, but saying like, oh, we shouldn't do this because this would be bad for the planet. But they're actually already going ahead and doing it, in so many
so
words.
so in a
So that's
way so in a way that they don't want to do something because they think it's going to hurt the planet, but they're indecisive and they end up doing it anyway because they don't really, they can't really make up their mind about whatever you know topic they want to, if they're building a new something, a new product or something.
mm-hmm.
They're kind of indecisive, so they're not really sure about what to do. and that's kind of bad because like when you're indecisive, you can build something that can potentially harm or
Oh yeah,
destroy the planet.
I agree.
And
Yeah, no, I don't like that kind of stuff. Not at all.
so you have to do you before building anything, you got to decide that will this actually impact the planet or will this actually destroy or harm the planet.
I agree with you. I mean, and I think that that's what people are concerned about. People do have credible concerns about, when you start doing this, what are the impacts? What are the long term impacts, the short term impacts, and then how do you stop doing it? Once you start doing it, you create a situation where you're controlling the weather of the planet or the heat of the planet, or you're controlling a certain aspect of what's going on the planet, and you can't really stop it because once you stop, then you don't know what's going to happen when you stop. So it's a Pandora's box, or it's a can of worms, or I don't know how else you want to put it, but it's yeah. But
So
thanks.
that's
Yeah. What else do you have to say?
so that's so that's why people always, when they refer to Pandora's box, people always say that once you open it up, you never know what will come out of that box. You
Exactly.
might have some negative, evil things coming out of that box. That's why people warn people never to open it. I know it doesn't exist. I know Pandora's box is not a real thing. It's just kind of like, I don't think it exists I don't think it does. But people always say not to open it up because what will come out of there is, you don't it's very dangerous because it's unpredictable. You might have a lot of like evil spirits coming out of that box.
Exactly. And the other thing about Pandora's box is apparently you can't close it. Hey man, thanks for calling. I got another caller. I'm going to take their
Okay,
call. But thanks
it's
so
nice
much.
calling back, and I'll look to calling into your room another time when you do another call-in show.
Right on. Thanks, man.
See
Appreciate it.
ya. See ya.
All right. Before we take this call from Jenny, just quickly gonna go to really good way to support the channel is buymeacoffee.com/blackbearnews. Checking out if I have any tips there as of yet. Not yet today. Also, Rockfin is a good place to leave me some tips if you are of the mind. And I do appreciate everybody's support. Also, Patreon, Black Bear News at Patreon/Black Bear News. That you can find me there, and you can also support the channel there. Okay, what's up, Jenny? How you doing?
Impressed with how smoothly you just kind of tip that in there, because I have Patreon and Substack, and I'm so squeamish about asking for donations. So good for you. Maybe I'll go hit your tip jar.
Thank you.
To the point, I think the ultimate person engaging in climate change over the ages has been God. And when you look at the scriptures, there's a continual theme there of him sending the flood to take out his kids, sending drought if they're not being good, not going to make it rain, we'll have a drought and a famine, or parting the Red Sea. He's got some skill. And so I think of the people engaging in geoengineering today as wanting to have godlike powers, and really messing with all of us and the planet as they bring on their storms and whatever else they're doing. I've heard rumors about earthquakes and various things they've managed to manipulate.
Sure.
And in regards to real or fake, how can you tell if this earthquake was because of some nuke going off inside of a volcano, or it just spontaneously erupted? How do you know?
Oh, you're right. You don't know, and that's one of the things about what's happening in the sky that seems somewhat insidious to me, or just it's hard for people to people want to debate it and say like, oh, there's nothing going on in the sky, but it's like nobody really actually pays a lot of attention. If you do pay attention, you might notice that things are a little strange. There are some strange things going on, right? But you if you start talking about it, or you start saying like, hey, did you ever notice what's going on up there? People get real like, well, what are you doing paying attention to the sky for, right?
Right.
Of course they're not doing anything. I'm like, how do you know? It's just an endless debate, so
go into certain chat rooms and just say the words chemtrails,
Oh, I know. Yeah, I
and
know.
you get quite the reaction. So, to
Well,
your
and
larger,
and that's the thing is that it's also it's hard to talk about these things because people live in pockets of belief, and
right,
they often don't leave those pockets, or they don't want to. It's scary. And I believe in climate change. I believe that it's happening. I understand that we're impacting the planet. But then, like a lot of people who believe in climate change, if you talk about geoengineering, they lose their minds. And it's like, well,
I know.
I don't know. It's not that scary. You should, it's okay to talk about it. It's fine. You may not believe
Well,
it, but it's okay to talk about it.
to your larger point of real and what's fake, there's a memer named Carpe Donktum who's been beloved for his skill with creating memes. And yesterday he just got his Twitter back after a 2-year hiatus.
Yeah.
He was kicked off for this one tweet. He was sued for this tweet. He won his case under the banner of free speech. And now he's back. And people said, would you mind sharing that tweet that got you banned? So he shared it last night. And I'm going to drop the link in the chat, because when you go watch this little video he put together, you're like, this is it? Are you kidding me? This is it? This is what got him banned? Because there's some really crazy memes out there,
Right.
and this one was kind of sweet and touching and, not threatening at all, except to a certain demographic. And so I'm excited about moving forward away from this, oh my gosh, your speech is so hateful. It's killing me. It's hurting my feelings. It's physically damaging me, and getting to a place where we're a little bit more mature and can say, on some level, it's just a joke.
Right.
We're doing this for the lulls, for the
Right.
laughs.
Sure. Yeah.
I look forward to us getting there.
Yep. Oh, geez. I just thank you. I do too, Jenny. I agree with you. I'm with you on that one. But thank you for the call, Jenny. I really appreciate it. I want to talk about one more subject before we get out of here, and you may or may not want to call back in then. But thank you. All right, got another very generous. Although I don't know what this is in a foreign currency, so I have no idea what the value of this is. But thank you, Tor Werner, for another super sticker on YouTube. Thank you so much, Tor. I really appreciate the support. I spend a lot of time working on this channel, and I do this channel almost every single day. So it really, it can be very taxing emotionally and mentally sometimes. So thank you, to everybody that supports the show. Thank you so much. All right, Swedish kroner. Yeah, I just have no idea what I don't know what the value is. Poppy says $25. Oh, thank you. Very cool, super cool. Thank you, Tor. I want to talk about, well, there were some other things I wanted to get into, but I'm going to run through a couple of quick things, and then we'll talk about what's going on with China and Italy and airplanes. If I could tease it a little bit, I actually might have to leave YouTube for this, unfortunately. Anyways, here's a tweet. The Oversight Dems climate investigation has turned up compelling evidence of oil and gas companies and their trade group misleading the public on climate and misrepresenting their commitments. No, you don't say. And these same Oversight Dems are letting the investigation die in Congress. No, you don't say. You mean the Democrats aren't doing oversight? You mean the Oversight Dems are not doing oversight? Whoa, man, I am bowled over. Anyways, I'm not going to read the article. I just kind of wanted to read the headline. But basically, the Congress and the government at large are doing the bidding of the fossil fuel industry, even though they say we care about climate change. It's almost like the fossil fuel industry has a lot of power and sway over what actually gets done about climate change. That's real. Anyways, I want to get through some other things before I get into this other news. What is the next thing? Oh, Poppy, I got your I got your article about the mirror on the moon. I think I'm going to cover that tomorrow. It was interesting. I have thoughts on it. Actually, it kind of maybe segues into the real or fake thing, but I want to have a more of a discussion around it, and so maybe I'll leave it for tomorrow. Okay. We are experiencing the loss of Arctic ice, or actually global ice, from Kevin Pluck. Global sea ice extent is at its lowest for this time of year. Not the lowest ever. Still not the lowest ever. That was still 2016. Um, but we're still tracking at the bottom of, the ice extent area. Sorry, you can't see this. Here we go. We're tracking at the bottom, and for this particular time of year, we are at the lowest extent. So that is happening. And there's something else on this from Zach Labe. Global sea ice levels continue to plummet due to unusually low sea ice in the Arctic and especially the Antarctic. So here is 2022 sea ice anomalies. The Arctic is way down, or the Antarctic, excuse me. Antarctic is way down. It looks like the Arctic. Well, it is January. I guess they're low. It's low for this time of year globally, but the Arctic is up a little bit because they regain ice in the winter. That's what happens. But the Antarctic is quite low at the moment. Just giving you some updates on that. So I want to talk about this, and I think I'm going to jump off YouTube, guys. Sorry, YouTubers. You can watch the rest of the show on Rockfin, or listen to the rest of the show on the Callin app. But I want to talk about something that I'm concerned that YouTube will not let me, or be very happy that I'm talking about. Anyway, so YouTubers, thank you so much for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. And I will say goodbye to you now, and I will see you over on Rockfin, or I'll see you tomorrow at 12 p.m.